After the worst terrorist attack on U.S. soil in almost a decade. And the biggest development today is that the FBI is absolutely hell-bent on making sure there is zero connection between what happened in Las Vegas, Nevada, and what happened in New Orleans. Sources telling a local Denver TV station that 42-year-old Shanshu Sinsabar, the suspect who drove a Ford pickup truck into a crowd on Bourbon Street in New Orleans, and 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger, who parked a Tesla Cybertruck that exploded in front of the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, had nothing in the world to do with each other. All just a coinky-dink, I guess. A total coincidence that both men happened to be at Fort Bragg together at the same time. And yet the FBI today continues to lie to the American public, saying there is no definitive link between the two.
At this point, there is no definitive link between the attack here in New Orleans and the one in Las Vegas.
Well, definitive link. What is a definitive link? That's an interesting term. Deliberately ambiguous, if you ask me. What is a definitive link? Would a definitive link be if they shared a parent? Would that be a legitimate link for the FBI? To me, the definitive links appear to be everywhere in this case, and I have a goose egg of law enforcement training. And if we had an honest FBI, they would point this out every day, all day. Both men in both cases used this app called Turo to rent the vehicles, the trucks they used in their respective attacks. Fine, that could be a coincidence. Both men attacked on the same day within hours of each other. Both men targeted major tourist destinations in tourist cities. Both men were Army vets, ages 42 and 37. Both men did tours in Afghanistan. Both men were registered Democrats. Both men also served at Fort Bragg in North Carolina, the same military base that Ryan Ruth visited over 100 times before he tried to kill Donald Trump this summer in Florida. But still today, the FBI insisted that there is no connection between the two men. So why is the FBI trying to throw the public off the scent right now of what looks like another FBI screw-up? And maybe the answer is because for the last 4 years, under Chris Wray and Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas, the FBI has been focused on going after Catholics at churches and parents at school board meetings and Christian pastors and pro-life centers. They can't be bothered with the return of radical Islamic terrorism on U.S. soil, and this has been bubbling up for years, and Joe Biden has ignored it. But when you move down the chain of command by just one level, from the FBI to local police in both cities, the link between these two attackers seems completely undeniable. Take a look.
It's an interesting thing during these kinds of investigations that if these turn out to be simply similarities, very strange similarities to have. And so we're not prepared to rule in or rule out anything at this point. There's lots more for us to do in this investigation. We haven't even gotten into the phones or the computers, which are usually very, very instructive and informative to us as we investigate. And we've got a lot more work to do to trace him, to see the stores that he went to rule out anybody else. Lots of investigative work to do. And we're just trying to give you an update on what we know now. That is factual.
Local police seem to get it. So why, again, is the FBI pushing this lone wolf narrative? What did they know about both of these men before they embarked on their respective suicide missions? In Las Vegas, by the way, it looks like this 37-year-old Matthew Livelsberger, a normal guy at one point, gave his life for what ended up being a really neat fireworks show outside one of the nicest hotels in Las Vegas, and boy, did he ever pick the wrong truck to rent. Next time you want to blow yourself up, maybe do it in a Gremlin and not in a Tesla truck. Livelsberger, in an attempt to make some kind of anti-Trump, anti-Elon Musk statement, chose to shoot himself in the face just before setting off a makeshift bomb in a Tesla truck, and that probably saved lives. So in addition to looking kind of cool, here it is from the inside of the hotel. I mean, it didn't even break the glass in the windows. How pathetic is this guy? These Tesla trucks are apparently bulletproof, bomb-proof, and ISIS-proof, meaning this radicalized hack gave his life for that, and that is sad right there. Back to New Orleans. The FBI also wants the American public today to believe that Shanshu Sinsabar acted alone, which would be fine if they hadn't lied to the public about him yesterday not being an Islamic terrorist.
We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar, the subject you've already been briefed on.
Everybody's having a tough time with that name. It's Shamsu Sinzabar. That's how we say it. And that might very well be true, what that agent just said. But the mixed messaging is not only confusing, but it further divides the public between who they can trust. And right now, nobody trusts the FBI. The FBI today clarified that, yes, this was an act of terrorism after all as well. Take a look.
First and foremost, let me be very clear about this point. This was an act of terrorism. We do not assess at this point that anyone else involved in this attack except for Shamsuddin Jabbar.
Shamsu Jabbar. It's not only the FBI that we should be criticizing, though, at this point right now. Anne Kirkpatrick, maybe you've seen her over the past day or so. She's the chief of police in New Orleans, and today she decided that it was a good idea to show the world what she should have done on Bourbon Street to prevent an attack like this from happening on New Year's Eve. Take a look.
What you see behind us is what we call hardening the target. So we have brought in heavy trucks. You will see when you go down Bourbon, you will see yellow, what we call archers, and they're along the sidewalk. And that would be to be preventive if someone had, or if this particular terrorist went around up on the sidewalk, that's what that would do.
Ma'am, we needed those on New Year's Eve. Thank you. I'm not even sure at this point why she's still talking to the media. I think it's pretty clear that barriers probably should have been up, and this probably never would have happened on Bourbon Street. And it turns out that before Kirkpatrick was hired in the city of New Orleans, a wonderful city, she was chief of police in Oakland, where she was fired. She sued the city. She got a $1.5 million settlement. And with that sterling resume, the FBI brought her in as an instructor in their leadership training program, where she taught a course on bias and diversity. So just to put this straight, a DEI hire was teaching about DEI. And she isn't even from New Orleans. She's from Tennessee, born and raised. Typically, it helps if the person tasked with protecting a city is from that city and knows that city, especially a city like New Orleans, a city as unique as New Orleans. The tragedy also exposed that hiring solely based on increasing diversity on the force, while that might look nice on paper, it actually puts lives at risk. And it's also time for this country now to address Islamic terrorism, which is not homegrown. None of this is homegrown. None of this is American. Islamic terrorism is from Islam. It's imported with the sole purpose of radicalizing otherwise normal people. Shamsu Sinzabar was once a normal American with a wife and family. Now, he got divorced from his wife. He lost his job. He had problems. Guess what? Everybody's got problems. They don't get radicalized by ISIS. But somewhere along the way, between 2020 and New Year's Eve, he became completely radicalized. And unless the FBI wants to get serious about flagging these people before something like New Orleans happens and not ignoring what is clearly still a problem, this is going to continue to happen.
Information. Truth is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.